Well, let's take another walk through the woods. There's our birdhouse camper. Yes, that's it right there. There's Camp Krazy. That's Camp Krazy for the crazy people and the crazy cats. And now for the crazy birds. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, what I'm going to show you next, there's the back of my camper. On the trees, eh? When you listen, when you go into the woods, you should always look for things that are falling down and that are kind of supported by other trees, because that stuff can come down on top of you, and some of it's quite heavy. But another thing you should always do is listen for creaking sounds. If you hear creaking sounds, that's also trees that are ready to come down. See that one there? That's completely dead, and that's ready to come down. See how it's doing this? And it's creaking. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up, but it is creaking. If that were to fall and land on top of you, it could seriously hurt you. There's quite a bit of weight there. So, anyway, look and listen. Just watch I say this, and now I'll go in here and I'll end up with something falling on me. And won't I look stupid then? You know? The guy don't take his own advice. Here we go now. Anyway, this here is what's left of the wall of a pig barn. That's all that's there now, is this one little bit of a concrete wall here. Okay, you see that there? I just heard that creak. You can tell that's ready to come down. Plus, if you look at the bottom of it, there's very little holding it, anchoring it. Stuff like that you gotta always be aware of. Anyway, as I say that, I'll walk closer to it. There's what's left of the pig barn. Right there, just one part of a wall. Yeah. But what I want to do, the big vines and the rocks and stuff, I don't think I've taken you guys back here before. So let's go back here and see what we can find out. Again, climbing on rocks, you always want to be careful. Get your footing. Find something to hold on to that's sort of solid, so you can maybe, possibly, not die if you slip. Here we go now. Yeah, lots of stuff here to be dealing with. Yeah, see, there's that tree that's creaking there. That's ready to fall. Luckily, it's leaning backwards, and it's leaning into some other stuff. But then it's also coming this way, so still something to be mindful of. That's all. There's the wall of the old pig barn. My camp is right over there. Well, there it is there. You can see my camper. Just a little bit. You can see it, the yellow and the white. Yeah. Right now, there's no leaves on the trees. So this is the time to do a little exploring. Be very careful. So you can't see here because there's leaves. But test your footing. You do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Again, we'll go back this way here. These boots are pretty good. These are good things to have when you're going into places like this. It's one of the reasons I bought them. But the main reason I bought them is because of the water-saturated places that I go. Gotta be very careful. So you gotta be careful too with rocks, because sometimes they'll be loose. You look at that there. If I had put all my weight on that, and I went forward, I could have just went straight down. It could have rolled right out from under my foot. That's why you always test your footing, and you always hold on if you can to something. You test your footing. That's all slippery with moss. Okay, there we go. Again, test your footing. even doing this, you can get into trouble, but you'll get into more trouble if you don't. You're more likely to get into trouble if you don't. Be careful. Always test your footing as you come along. Yeah, see that? There we go. All right. Yeah, it was just a little tour of the woods behind Camp Krazy. Oh. Again, that's the wall of the old pig barn. Part of the wall of it, anyway. Not much left to that. Here we go now. Oh, there we go. Of course, I grew up playing in the woods and stuff, building forts in the woods and stuff. That was a big part of my childhood. It was kind of a sanctuary for me in a way, because the world was pretty tough, you know, and I found the world to be kind of a rough place. I still do actually find that. But the woods has its own set of dangers, and you always have to be aware. No matter if you're on a city street or in the woods, you got to be aware where you are, and you got to be aware of what you're doing. Yeah. You see, somebody started to build something there. They did. You can tell. Probably some kids at some point were trying to build a fort, and either never got very far, or maybe they built one, but that's all that's left. It's hard to say. Anyway, I'm not going to go in here. It's too dense, and I'm just not feeling it. So we'll go along here. We will. My moo is buried somewhere along here. I think I have a brick on her grave. If I can find that brick. I don't know where she is exactly. She's somewhere in along here anyway. Moo moo. Okay. I miss you, moo moo. Yeah, I miss my moo. Anyway, that's it. We'll talk to y'all later. Let's do a close-up of the... There we go. Bye for now.